It's about that time. You're rocking with your boy Damo Unleash and Sky Black on the Nashville Caveman Podcast. Stay tuned.
Hey, what you got in that bag? Just know that I'm up. Just know that I'm up. I gotta turn up this function, like I'm in the Lotus and punch it. All I'm gonna ask is stay in your lane, and you won't be food for my luncheon. I'm coming up out of the dungeon, cooking up plans to make something from nothing. And since I secured the bag, it's time to do math, so I'ma keep hustling. I thought I had lost my way or something. I am not feeling what they say is busting. They keep us trapping this way, disgusting. If you so happen to catch me flexing, I could be killing the stressful day by learning how to install some chromic crystals on the Escalade. Matching the optics on my sternum. I am for the sake of the people. Grabbing my Glock and pray to the Lord, cause not everybody tryna be peaceful. I still hope we set the stage for showing them how it's supposed to be, so those that's close to me won't have to ask, hey, what you got in that bag? Just know that I'm up. Just know that I'm up. Hey, what you got in that bag? Just know that I'm up. Just know that I'm up. Hey, what you got in that bag? Let me explain what I'm talking about. Had a joint called down about it. Letting these loud mouths know how to move without sound. Best if we don't even shout out. Midwest, east, west, down south, till we get even or even above. Till then we gon' opt out and educate on the backside. Folk gotta act right and they won't backslide. Just put it together no matter the weather, my brother. So hey, if you dealing with vices in you and it's cutting you up like against you, put it on chill for real, or they gon' just use it against you. What you got in that bag? Quiet water.
What is going on, y'all, man? Welcome to the Nashville Caveman Podcast. It's another Tuesday in the books,
Absolutely.
Man. Y'all rocking with your boy Damo Unleash, and I am here with a very good friend of mine that is like a brother. So I'm gonna roll out the red carpet for him, and the floor is
Thank you,
yours.
Damo. So happy Tuesday. Hold on now. Hold on, something is going on with the damn. Okay, there we go. All right, happy Tuesday.
All right, I think
Tuesday is the best days of the week. First of all, thanks to everybody who came out to Huntington, Tennessee to the benefit for Danny Ice and Lindsey Wild. Thank y'all so much. We had a great show. Congratulations to Draco and Danny Ice for becoming the new ICW Tag Team Champions. I know there's nothing people can say or how much money they can give to rectify what happened. You know, I'm just glad that y'all are safe. I'm sorry that you lost your pets and stuff in the house fire, but we're praying for y'all. So thank y'all so much, everybody who came out. It was a great crowd, great turnout. This weekend, Lebanon, Tennessee, Mr. Top Rope, Sky Black, I will be there in action. So if you're in the Lebanon, Tennessee, Mount Juliet, Watertown, Alexandria, Hermitage, all of those places, Gallatin, come to Lebanon, Tennessee, Wilson County Fairgrounds for Top Rope Wrestling. Next Thursday, I was telling everybody about the new show, the new radio show that's coming on Thursdays. It will appear next Thursday, 7 p.m. We're going to play R&B, soul, neo soul, things like that, alternative music, so to speak, on Thursdays. So Tuesdays will be mostly hip hop and pop, so to speak, and then Thursdays will be the rest of the genre. Same time, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. with the replay, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. So tonight's show will be brought to you by Top Rope Wrestling. So tune in, listen, have a good time. It's Saturday. Bring the kids. 4th of July. There's also a benefit. A friend of mine, Angel, her father passed away. So please get there early. They're doing a benefit cookout for folks. I don't know how much the plates are, so I don't want to start lying, but the donations go to helping the family of Billy Barnes. So sorry about your loss, Angel. Like, people are just walking off this earth left and right, my friend. But let's get on a higher note. So after you send me your music, it's sky.black@gmail.com. It is sky.black@gmail.com. Go to Mr. Dama over here, music videos, advertising, marketing, and then let's get ready for the Soul Driven Artist of the Year 2025.
Yes, man. Dang, we are over halfway through the year, man. Today actually is what, the first? Yes, the first today. So we are officially halfway through the year. Shout out to Hillers, man, plumbing and cooling too. Man, AC went out yesterday, and thank God that them 90-degree days are behind us, because it was hot as hell at one point, and so I'm looking forward to them coming by and getting me straight, man, on the AC, brother.
I know how you feel about this. Certain things you got to have. I remember one time our water heater went out. Yeah, I paid extra for that little plumber to come out here and change the thing at the top. It busted, had a hole in it. Come on, I don't care how much you charge. We have to have that. You know what I'm saying? So I hope everything works out for you, Damo.
Yeah, man, I'm going to tell y'all too, for the new home buyers or the people that's thinking about getting a home, get that home warranty. I'm talking about the basic, it is worth it. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know, like Sky, you just saying, you never know when a water heater gonna go out, when you're gonna have a plumbing issue, anything can happen. You know, you can have an issue with your toilet. Get that home warranty. You gotta have it.
Absolutely. So, Damo,
my water heater had busted and was leaking all on my floor, and we had to get a whole one replaced. So them replacing that covered what we paid in the membership for the whole year.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Just for that one service.
I mean, life, you never know what's gonna happen, man. You have no clue.
No, especially like if there's anything that you want to protect, it's your home. Because that's the biggest investment, one of the biggest investments, you're gonna have financially. So you gotta protect that home.
Absolutely. If I was y'all, if y'all trying to buy a new home, I don't know if y'all trying to buy a brand new home, get a home built, or buy somebody else's home who's lived in it. Find out how old those things are, the washing dryers, the water heater, the AC, things like that. So let's say it's already 5 years old. Then you probably got around another 10 years. So have another savings account where you just put $25 every paycheck in for the next 5 to 10 years. So that way, when something goes wrong and it's like, it's gonna cost you $8,000, you'll have it.
Like the AC unit. Like most people don't know, like your AC unit is covered under that home warranty. Your refrigerator, if your refrigerator, if they can't get a repairman to come through and fix it, they'll replace it with a brand new. Same with the stove, like you said, Sky, the washer dryer. So there's so much that's covered. When you get that home warranty, you gotta have it. If you're a new home buyer, you gotta have it.
What company do you?
It was called the Republic. It's not the Banana. It's not the Banana Republic, but it's something Republic. I gotta look it up. But it's based out of California.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
The home base of it is in California, but they network all over the country. So they'll call like whatever companies is in their network and have them come out. And if they can't get nobody out and you have to call somebody, they'll reimburse.
That's awesome.
Oh,
that is awesome.
Yes, it's convenient tonight. Man, we getting ready for the 4th, y'all. It's on Friday. Make sure y'all be safe. You know what I'm saying? And make sure that whoever lighting the fireworks know what the hell they doing. Also, make sure whoever gonna be on that barbecue grill know what the hell they do. You know what I'm saying? If they don't know how to light a fire, don't let them by the damn grill. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to be safe, man, because one thing we guarantee that here on the 4th of July is ambulances and fire trucks and police sirens. That's one thing guaranteed. You gonna hear on the
True.
floor.
Absolutely.
So y'all be safe, man.
So Damon,
You ever have that crazy friend that light the firework and you like, man, you real close to blowing off your toe and your thumb.
No, I quit doing it. That's why I don't do it no more. I don't buy fireworks and pop them anymore. I've seen accidents go wrong. It's not cute. It's not cute.
Man.
You know, that's crazy. Then before we get started off topic, I just wanted to ask you about LeBron. You know, the Lakers somebody had bought the Lakers. Jenny Buss and them had sold majority owners. And I saw that one thing he wanted to do was start rebuilding. So does that mean this is LeBron's last season, or he's going to trade LeBron before the beginning of the season?
I don't think they trade, because you know he just he opted into his player exception, right? So you see how much he getting paid this year or this upcoming year? $52.4 million. I'm sorry, man. He stuck with the Lakers. They ain't gonna be able to get rid of him. They ain't gonna be able to rebuild because they ain't got no money. Austin Reeves, he opted out of his player option. So now he's eligible to make like $235 million for like 4 or 5 years, $235 million. And if you go with another team, as high as like $185 million. So LeBron, that whole rebuild thing, they can forget that. The Lakers, they stuck.
That's crazy. Yeah, I just wanted your opinion on that.
That money they get, man.
Even if LeBron wanted to leave, I'm pretty sure still at how old is he? 41, 40? He's 40? Going in his 21st season?
About 40.
Yeah,
41?
in his 21st season, there's still at least 18 to 20 teams that would bid for him to get him to come.
Oh, no, not with that contract. I think they would, but not with that contract. Hell, that's 2 players. You have to get rid of 2 players, good players to get.
That's true.
You know, and he up there. You 40 years old. You up in the icy hot Ben Gay era. You up here with us, player. You know, Epsom's up bad. Here they come.
So we'll have to see. I just want your opinion on that.
40 hit different. I don't care how athletic you are. 40 hit.
Absolutely. Very different.
Hell yeah. For those that don't know, then when you get up and you gotta make that noise. You get up and you make that noise, you like, oh, your knees and your back and your joints ain't the same.
It reminds you every day.
Man, y'all, we got some good stuff to talk about today. So did y'all see our friends had music festivals. They host them every year, right? And there's, like 145 people reportedly were struck with a needle syringe. Somebody went around with a needle syringe, just sticking people. And so we're going to talk about that. There was a woman who claimed to have slept with, get this, 1,057 men in 12 hours. So, we're going to talk about that. Also, why men get women's numbers? Because ladies, you always say that. Why do men ask for our numbers and then they never call? And this dude explained this. And he even made me go, wow, I never looked at that like that. So I want y'all to hear what this brother said. Me and Sky gonna go ahead. We gonna chime in on it. A 40-year-old woman gets pregnant by a married man who then requests that she aborts the baby and he goes right back to his wife. So we're gonna talk about that. A woman gets fired from her job, and then she wants a 70-year-old man to come in and be her sugar daddy. But get this, there's a caveat to it. She don't want to give him no sugar.
She want the daddy, no sugar. Gotcha.
She wants the daddy, but she don't want the sugar. So we're gonna talk about that. Nelly's response when he laid down, I don't know if you've seen this video, it was funny as hell. But Nelly and Ashanti went to this furniture store, and they was laying in this bed, and you know how when women lay in beds and men, and they be, oh, this comfortable or whatnot. They told him the price was $75,000, and guess what? Y'all got to see his response. It was funny as hell. Y'all got to see how fast that dude hopped up out of that bed. Yeah. And I don't blame him. A former male stripper says that women are no different than men when it comes to how they behave in strip clubs. So we'll talk about that. And then last but not least, and this kind of coincides with a topic that I ran off earlier, where this woman and this man had this debate. And the question was, or the statement was, if women are smarter than men, then how come you guys keep getting tricked out of y'all vagina? So, that's what we're going to be discussing today. You know what I'm saying? If y'all got anything else y'all want us to discuss, man, put it in the comments on Restream, because, Sky, I don't know if you can see the comments on Facebook. I normally don't get those till later on down the line, until after we go off air. But if you see them, if y'all watching, y'all got something y'all want us to talk about, let us know, and we'll go ahead and jump into that. But y'all know how we do, man. Before we get this show started, man, we gonna go ahead and get into some music. If you're watching from YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, or Bigo, if y'all can do us a favor and share the live, we would appreciate it, okay? Thank you guys, man. Let's go ahead and get into some music, and then we gonna get right back on track. Y'all rocking with Damo Unleashed and Sky Black on the Nashville Caveman podcast. Damn, I can't even get it out today.
Am I the meanest?
Somebody put the chrome on the whip. And you better put the chrome on the whip. She said she blind. Chrome on the whip. Chrome on the whip. Chrome on the whip. And you better put the chrome on the whip. Chrome on the whip. Chrome on the whip. She blind, chrome on the whip, chrome on the whip, chrome on the whip. And you better put the chrome on the whip, chrome on the whip, chrome on the whip. I gotta hustle till it feels real good. I'm tryna eat till the meal's real good. I don't wanna have to break the bank just to have to go and get my wheels real good. Cause my lady tryna bacon and the meal's real good. And I need something that'll match that, man. Rather die with a real hood figure. I'ma drop here and always still type, nigga.
Chrome on the whip with the crystals on the side. Doors flip up, yeah, we call it suicide. Creeping like the spider every time that I ride. Yeah, I smile at my haters just to fuck with their pride. And all so dope that the truth tell a lie. $1 million dreams make a broke nigga high. Dudes get mad when they women say hi. The paint so wet that it make a pussy slide. Sun rooftop with the wood grain grip. Ain't even raining, but the paint still drip. I'm not even traveling, but baby, I'm a trip. So she riding up the mountainside just to see the tip. Top of the world, that's what they ain't wanna be. Riding in a battle, adding to my legacy. Crystals on the chrome, yeah, the body so G. I'm a stunt so hard, niggas can't stand me.
Chrome on the whip, chrome on the whip, chrome on the whip. And you better put the chrome on the whip, chrome on the whip, chrome on the whip. She said she blind.
350 engine, nigga, I'ma let her rip. Rubber City rhyme with it, hoping I don't flip. Firestone tires just burning up the strip. On the car so pretty that I call a honey dip. Faster than a tiger, nigga, stronger than a bear. The way the engine roars, they can't help but to stare. This a dream of a heaven, but I hate to even stare. Cause they wait till you blow up, they act like you care.
We get a lot of rain in the O. The heat sends paint, make a change in the O. The chrome on the whip, crystals on the floor. If they forecast cold, can't complain no more. the speed, cruise control. Let a hater see his image in his own reflection. Crystals on the whip, damn right, I'm flexing. Gotta get it to the point where they match my necklace. Swag so big, I be moving in sections. The way past goes, so I'm back to the dirt. Don't play with my shit, don't play with my work. Cause soon as I cop that chrome and crystals whip, your feelings might get hurt. I've been hustling day to day, so I never I'm about to get home. So I can ride out with my baby on some Bristol rims and chrome. I've been hustling day to day, so I never I'm about to get home. So I can ride out with my baby on some Bristol rims and chrome. She flying chrome on the whip, chrome on the whip, chrome on the whip. And you better put the chrome on the whip, chrome on the whip, chrome on the whip. She said she fly, chrome on the whip, chrome on the whip, chrome on the whip. And you better put the chrome on the whip, chrome on the whip, chrome on the whip.
That was great. I hadn't
Right,
I hadn't
man,
heard that in a while, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Love that song. Love it.
I know. I end up picking that. Man, I can't wait to some of this stuff, man. 20 years old that I'm gonna share with y'all, man. So I can't wait to go ahead and upload that to the. Cause we got to change the music. We've been playing the same music, and I'm like, okay, we got to do something different. So I want to go ahead and get into this. Man, a music festival in France, and people go to this kind of stuff. We get one every year called Bonnaroo and the CMA. So could you imagine being at one of them and then out of nowhere somebody just stick you with a needle and you don't know what's in the needle? So now you find yourself going to the doctor, man, every couple months because you don't know what you've been stuck with. And so I want y'all to hear this story, man. I just think this, like, people are losing their minds, dude. They are losing their minds.
Police in France say 14 people are under arrest after a possible syringe attack at a series of music festivals across France. 145 people report being pricked, including some girls as young as 14. I want to bring in foreign correspondent Tom Sufi-Burridge for more. Tom, what's the latest here?
Yeah, no, so I think this is a very troubling phenomenon. What we don't know is anything really about the malign actors who were behind this. It appears to have been inspired or encouraged on social media. So it looks like there were social media posts before this annual nationwide music festival event. So effectively, Fête de la Musique, there are music festivals in towns and cities right across France. And prior to the event, there were posts, we think, on social media encouraging people or telling people to prick people attending that event. Now, we don't know anything about the malign actors behind this. Police are investigating, and they say that during those series of music festivals right across France on Saturday, 145 people were either pricked or believed they were pricked. So, because of these social media posts, people picked up on these and then warned other social media users that this was being encouraged. So you had a climate of fear or concern prior to the event itself. And police are saying that they have arrested so far 14 people in connection with these attacks.
Tom, the victims reported feeling hot flushes, dizziness, loss of consciousness, and visible marks or bruises on their skin. So are police saying what they think was in those syringes?
They haven't yet, and at the moment I don't think there's any indication whether or not any of the victims were actually injected with any type of substance. I mean, look, we know from one of the mayors of a city where there were 17 young victims, 17 young female victims, that the victims were as young as 14, aged through to 20. One particularly concerning thing I think that mayor said for me was that some of the victims were actually attacked in the presence of their parents. And we know that from police that most of the attackers were either pricked in their arm or in their back. They had various symptoms as you've laid out. And most of those people either were treated at the scene by first responders we were then reported to hospital to give urine, saliva, or blood samples to try and work out whether they were pricked or not. But I think, this phenomenon, it doesn't appear, I think, that physically many of the victims were badly hurt or damaged in this attack. That seems to be the indication at this stage. But what this attack, inspired by just a few messages, we think, on social media, has done is sow panic. So I think, French authorities right now are urging calm. They're saying we shouldn't panic, but people in future events should be vigilant and look out for this type of attack, seek medical advice, report it to the police as soon as they see it.
And any sense of a motive here? Why do this?
I don't think we have any motive at all. And I think this attack is symptomatic of the digital age, right? Social media. People or actors, malign actors, can go on social media now and encourage this type of attack. Now, there is nothing to suggest who is behind this attack, but we know that malign actors have been working to destabilize European countries in the past. No indication at the moment who could have been behind this, but I think it is deeply worrying for the authorities in this kind of digital social media age that we live in.
All right, foreign correspondent Tom Sufi-Burge, thank you.
Those are the times we're in.
You know what? I don't know. You know how they have those TikTok trends where people were stealing the Kia cars, and then you have people who watch TV shows like Dexter, and they was doing the shit that Dexter was doing, wrapping people up and killing them. I don't know where that came from. I don't, and they said it's about 14 suspects who got together and said, well, this is a cute trick. Let's just go around and randomly pricking people to see what's going to happen. I don't, like you said, you don't even know what was in those syringes. None of that stuff. So what was they trying to get out of? Were they trying to start some new type of trend or something like that?
You know what's scary about that, Sky? You know what's really scary about that? A place like America. Because a place like America, they don't vet people coming in the country. So you don't really know what their intentions are. For them talking about we have the strongest military in the world, but we have the weakest country. What do you mean by that? Because our enemies is probably already here. We can be attacked within from stuff like this. This is stuff like this. A bio war can happen easy. Yep. All you got to do, man, and I'm not telling y'all what to do. I'm just saying I'm gonna give y'all some information to think about. All there have to be is a biological weapon, such as, it could be something that could go in a syringe, and then that could be set up where you have a big event, a football game, a concert, anything, and people just going around doing that. And don't let it be airborne. Don't let it be airborne. I was watching TikToks and videos where people were afraid of Iran's reaction. You know what? Man, Iran, them countries wouldn't do what you would think they would do. They would do like them dudes did on 9/11. Who saw that coming? Which one of us citizens would have ever dreamt? Because somebody did that before. But they took it and did it on a whole nother level. Who would have ever seen that? For us that was around when them towers sat up. Whoever saw, as far as like an American citizen, could imagine that.
Absolutely. And that's still suspect itself, because there's new evidence of people that were there saying there was no planes around. But if there was no planes around, then what plane did I see hit the second building? Was that CGI in there? Or did the second plane never hit the building and it exploded? Because everybody keeps saying that there were bombs at the bottom of those buildings. They heard the explosion. Everything, and the way they collapsed, like demolitions when they try to knock down old buildings, that's how it collapsed. Okay, that's fine. And there was at least one plane that I saw. So, because I never saw the first plane hit the first building. I mean, a plane hit the first building, but you do see a plane, I guess, quote unquote, go into the second building. But then there was people like, we were there and there were no planes, no buildings, no nothing. It blew up. I was like, Okay, now you got me confused. So how did that plane that I saw from somebody else's camera get there on their phone? You know what I'm saying? So I was just confused.
You just, we live in a time when you just don't know what's what anymore. But I will say this: we were attacked within our soil. We were attacked. They never even saw it coming. And man, the thing about America is you think about all the people they let cross the border the previous 4 years. If they really wanted to, any of them countries really wanted to do damage to us, they could in a minute. And by the time we figured it out, it'd be way too late. They can really dismantle us. And this kind of show you, man, that there's a reason to always be concerned. Because you just never know. This ain't really no conspiracy theory. This is your enemies, people that literally hate the country, is within the country. I mean, they don't have they despise it. We have our own people that hate the country. And that's some scary stuff when you really think about it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel sorry for whoever, all the people that got stung, but this ain't the first time I've ever heard of that. People going around pricking folks, you know what I'm saying, with any type of thing and killing them. Well, back in the day before technology got the way it was, certain things you could prick somebody with and they would die and they looked like they had an aneurysm or a heart attack or a stroke because medicine back then or technology didn't pick up certain chemicals. You know what I'm saying? Now it probably picks up everything. But yeah, I've heard this before a long time ago. But that's what I'm saying. Now, is it the same what I heard maybe 30 years ago? Or is this something new that's coming around? Because usually everything old is new and everything new is old. It's just a cycle. Everything repeats itself.
I don't know if this was going on down in Nashville, but I know in Ohio. And this was about a good 40 years ago, 35 to 40 years ago, where people was taking needles that was HIV positive and used needles and taking them and sticking them in cushion seats, putting them in the needle part in the payphone, doing all kind of stuff, getting people stuck. So was that a thing 35, 40 years ago here?
Well, you know what? Again, I don't know what was in those syringes, so it could have been that, or could have been again.
Oh, they were sticking themselves. It was people that was positive, HIV positive, sticking themselves with needles. And then sticking them needles inside, bus cushions. Because the bus got the little cushion seats with some of them. And then other places.
Oh, yeah. So
that was like a real life. That was like a thing, man, 35, 40 years ago. So,
and I don't know if people was just doing it to get out of like cheating or getting life insurance policies or whatever. But yeah, they was pricking people. So that way, because I mean, when a coroner gets there, you don't see no bullet hole, no stabbing, you don't see no choke marks, you don't see nothing like that. So you just think, okay, natural causes. And back then, depending on what you got stuck with, they didn't detect a lot of things. Now, like I said, now they probably can detect anything. But back then, they couldn't. So I don't know if it was I don't know what was in those syringes, Damo, but I just know there were people doing that because it was the easiest way of, it was sort of like taking a needle and poking a condom. You would never know. The man would never know. You know what I'm saying? He puts the condom on, especially if it didn't. Because back when I was coming up, spermicide inside of condoms wasn't a big thing. I'm not saying it was none with them. Now it's a huge thing. Back then, certain condoms didn't have spermicide. So you prick holes in the package. He opens the package. He puts it on, uses it, and then you still end up pregnant. You thinking, well, how did that happen? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, people with these needles and little pricks and stuff, especially with technology now, you got to be careful. That's why I got to watch where I'm sitting before somebody hands me a drink. If you smoke, you got to be careful what people are lacing it with. I knew people that were putting eye drops in drinks. The girl would turn her back and you put an eye drop, and they would put them, and they would knock them out. Like, damn, an eye drop. Stuff you put in your eyes. Yeah. If it goes in your mouth, will knock you out. Dang, I don't even want to put it in my eyes then. You know what I'm saying? Like, good Lord.
Yeah, that's tough. So yeah, we in the age of, you're right. We gotta watch, man, where we sit, what we touch, I mean, we're in the age of biological warfare, and it don't have to be military. It could just be domestic. You know what I'm saying? I'm go down, man, and listen to this woman. I don't believe this. I think this is cap. But this woman, she claimed that she slept with 1,057 men in 12 hours. So I'm gonna let her talk about it. I don't believe it. Sky, it looks like the way you shaking your head. You don't believe
think
it
about
either,
it. Let's
bruh.
just say she slept with 10 men an hour. I could believe that. If you slept with 10 men within 1 hour, that's still only 120 people. So that means you would have to have slept with 100 men in 1 hour to get to almost 1,100 people. That's crazy. How the hell you do that?
Unless all of them, you know, man, you have to have a whole bunch of 3-second men, man. I'm talking about they get in 3 pumps.
Or unless she's not talking about
You know.
penetration, maybe she had 10, 12 men at a time just orgying and masturbating
that's what
and
she
all
was
that
talking
stuff.
about.
But penetration,
She was talking about she was getting like she was having like them rotate on her and all kind of stuff. You know, so well, you know what? Let's go ahead and hear her talk about it. She cute, but man, she ain't that cute. Not for that. Hell no.
This is what my face looks like after taking 1,000 men less than 12 hours ago. OnlyFans star Bonnie Blue claims she has set a world record for sleeping with the most men in one day, saying she bedded 1,057 men in 12 hours. I told you girls, taking fluids and moisturizer is good for your skin. Blue, 25, from Derbyshire, is reported to have topped the tally previously set by adult film actress Lisa Sparks when sleeping with 919 men in 24 hours in 2004. The big 1,000 was completely done. So it started off, I think we did the open to start with, it was like, the room was absolutely full. Then we did groups of 5, like one after the other at 5s. I wanted to give people more time, so then it went down to like one-on-one. One person would go up, trust I was with somebody, and then it would literally just be like a rotating circle like that. This is what my face looks like.
Man, I don't believe it. I don't believe it, man. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. It's hard for me to believe she took that many pieces. It's hard for me to believe it. You know what I'm saying? Because I would think, you know, all of us men, we are all different sizes. I'm quite sure that thing was swole after about the first 20. It was swole. Ain't no way I believe
either. And then let's just say she took half of it. How many of them use condoms? Because if not, that's a lot of baby gravy being. Come on.
That's what she said. She said it was good for the skin. That's what she said.
Now, maybe she done oral sex. Maybe I could believe 100 men in an hour. You know what I'm saying? But not penetration like that.
Well, she said she was doing 5 at a time. She was doing 5 at a time. So I guess, you know, 2 of them at the same time, you know, explode or give her that baby gravy, as you would say. And 2 more, they tag team them in like wrestling. 2 more
but then, how old was the girl who said this? How old did she look? Was she in the 30s, 20s?
About 20.
And so then when she gets 50 and 60 and she's ready to settle down because her vagina don't work anymore, she ain't gonna find a husband. Because body counts for some men, a good man does count. You know, I mean, nobody's a virgin, but damn, I found out you can sleep with that many people, even if it was 30 years ago. Like, no, thank you. No.
Man, I hate to say this, Sky, but this is what dudes are talking about when they be talking about sex. Because there's a dude out there that would think that she's so beautiful that, you know what I'm saying? He like, that was her past. It ain't got nothing to do with now. And then take that off.
Some people.
Me personally, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't want to be somewhere and dudes reminiscing how they nutted on your face and whatnot. I don't want to do that. You know, and I'm talking about I say, hey, baby, pass me the hola. I say, pass me the gravy, and then he get all wide-eyed. You know what I'm saying? Looking at me. I couldn't do
And
it.
you know there will be some man out there that's desperate. He don't want to be alone. This girl don't want to be alone, and they will get together just because towards the end of your life, when you need somebody to help you out of bed and wipe your butt, they don't care what you did 40, 50 years ago when you're laying there on your deathbed. But that's not me. I am so sorry. Again, nobody's virgins. That ain't what I'm saying. It's more of a respect. If a woman don't respect herself, how can I respect her? If she don't love herself, how can I love her? And in my opinion, that's just a self-esteem, low respect, no love for yourself to have 1,000 men treat you that way in less than a day. A day now, not 24 hours. She said 12. Less than a day.
Yeah. Ain't no way her vagina ain't swole. I'm sorry, man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no way. And I don't know if y'all fellas out there that seen the swole vagina, that thing just, it'll look like avocado. A swole avocado, man. It just is not good.
Damo, and let's just say for me, it's not even about that. Let's just say I am 75, 80 years old, and I can't even have sex anymore. I just won't even get up. But just to know what you did, I ain't even having sex with you. Just to know what you did, I probably still would die long before I married you.
That's tough, man.
Yeah.
That's tough. 100 is bad. This at 1,000, and it don't even matter if it was 1,000 in 30 years. That's still a lot of bodies, man. Man, dude. And then why would you even want that to be on video? You can't even have kids. Because could you imagine somebody saying, hey, ain't this your mom? And she talk about how she done took over 1,000 dicks?
Or what if somebody is a relative? Hey, my uncle was one of those down back then doing that ball game on the community court. Said, huh?
Man, that is brutal, man.
It is.
That's brutal.
I don't believe it, but even if it's close,
I don't believe that.
Close, I still would say she needs to go to therapy. She needs help because I just don't see an average person who cares for themselves and their body as a temple to just let somebody people just do you like that.
All over, they probably on her stomach, back, everywhere. Like I couldn't imagine it, dude. I
ain't saying sex has to be boring like missionary every night, but that's overdoing it.
Yeah, so that's way overdoing
it. You can have a happy medium between being boring and being freaky. You know what I'm saying? And some people are extremes on both ends. That's just crazy.
That's perversion on steroids, bro.
Yeah,
that's perversion on steroids.
Absolutely.
This dude, man, I want to play this, right? Because this brother made a good point. And I was like, you know what? He absolutely right, man. He couldn't have said this any better. So without further ado, let me go ahead and play this clip, man. I want you to listen to it. And this is, ladies, this is why we'll get y'all number and we'll never call y'all.
This lady said, how come you didn't get your number and then never even use it? Because it's like this. You ever get pre-approved for a car? Or pre-approved for a mortgage loan? Or even approved for a credit card? You just be happy that you're approved for it. To know that you can qualify to pursue it if you desire to. And sometimes that just be enough. It'd be like, damn, I could buy that car, but it's going to cost too much. That is not in the budget. But it's good enough I could. That's what it be like most of the time. Get that woman number, and you really start thinking about how much time, money, and energy it costs just to even take her out once. You know what? No, I'm good.
I love it. I love it how he used the car analogy. That is right. I do have a lot of things that come across my desk and say, hey, you were pre-approved for this loan. You've been pre-approved for this car. But do I really need it?
Right. Do you really want it? You want to take on that extra hassle? And
So when I had my home built, I went through Habitat for Humanity. We had to go through Dave Ramsey's class. I don't know if you ever been through it or not, but we had to go through it. And he said before you make any purchase, especially if it's a big purchase or a life decision purchase, take 3 days before you make the decision. So if Monday, let's say you want to go buy a $6,000 bed or a $75,000 bed, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, sit down and think about it, pray over it, write the pros and cons, and then Friday make a decision. So that's what these men are doing when you give the number. They are just taking the 3 days to say, from the conversation I had when you gave me your number, is it worth it? Now, sometimes people can be wrong. Sometimes you judge a book by its cover. She can be gorgeous and you think she's a gold digger and she's the most humble person in the world. You can meet a church girl that thinks she's the most humblest person in the world and she's the biggest gold digger you've ever seen. So that's why you take the 3 days to get to know somebody during the pre-approved process, so to speak, before you make the purchase. I agree.
Well, and that's what we do. We analyze. It is to see, like we'll see what kind of loans we can get. Just to, see if we can get that loan. But just because we qualify for the loan, don't mean that we're going to go ahead and take on that loan.
Right.
Because ladies, that is what we do. We'll size you up. It's not, and I don't look at it really as a gold digger, but is this really worth the investment?
Right.
Because a lot of times you'll want a car, you know what I'm saying? But then when you think about, you got to put full coverage on it, how much gas is going to take weekly. Also, how much money you're going to have to invest into the mechanic part of it. And then you be like, do I really want to take that on?
Mm-hmm.
And if it feel like it's going to be a money pit, it's good to know that you can get it if you want it, but you just like, nah, I don't want to take that on right now. Mm-hmm. And we do that with y'all. If y'all look like a money pit, if y'all look like that, not just saying you a gold digger, but that you're going to be required, you're going to be high maintenance. Mm-hmm. We going to take you on. So that is and we do that all the time. We'll ask you on a date, and then you'll say, yeah, we get the planning and whatnot, and then what the dudes do? They'll ghost you. Mm-hmm. Basically, what they're doing is they're measuring to see if they qualify.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then they don't want to go ahead and they don't want the investment. They don't want what they deem the problems that come with it.
Mm-hmm. That's true. So think about buying a car, right? You see the car, you love the car, but you read the reviews and you don't buy the car. The car is great. It looks nice, but the reviews saying don't buy the car, or the reviews saying don't buy from this dealer. So if the girl is the car, what are the reviews? And B, sometimes if a man ghosts you or don't want to be bothered with you, it might not be you. It could be your friends, your family, your loved ones, your neighborhood. I've ghosted some girls that lived in some terrible neighborhoods. They were good people. They just lived in some terrible neighborhoods. I'm not coming through there. I'm sorry. I'm done. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. So sometimes you can be a product of your environment. And this is why dudes are ghosting you like, man, her family crazy and ratchet. And man, I don't need to go off topic, but maybe that's something we can talk about next show. Have you heard about Carnival Cruises trying to stop ratchet black people from getting on their ships? Carnival Cruise is sort of like the Southwest, the cheap ships, the cheap cruises.
I don't blame them.
People have been on there fighting, so they don't allow you to bring speakers, and they stop playing rap music. But that's for another show. It just made me think about that. I didn't know if you had read that or not. But anyway,
but we definitely gonna dive into that next week because they got a valid point.
Yeah, but back on topic. So sometimes it might not be you. It could be your homegirl, your sister, your mama, your cousin, your ex-boyfriend, your neighbor. It could be just something around you that's like, hey, you're good, but if I get with you, I'm going to get caught up in some drama. So that could be a process too. A lot of men don't think about. Don't just go after the girl. See what's around that girl, because she could be good, but she could end up getting caught up in some BS because of association.
Yep. And your kids is included in that.
Yep.
You might be fine as hell. Dude might just want to get your number because he just want to see if he got it, right? But then he like, well, I don't want to take on them kids though. And so he get your number just to see if he still got it. But he like, man, I ain't fuck them kids.
Right. Or she got multiple baby daddies and both of them crazy. They been in and out of jail and all. Like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good.
Yep. I think that was a beautiful analysis, man. I like the comparison.
Yeah, me too.
Next, so to a furniture store,
Mhm.
and I don't blame this brother, man. So he was laying in bed, and they asked the dude the price of the mattress, and he told him $75,000. I want y'all to hear Nelly's response. I would have had the same thing, man. I would have responded the same way. Without further ado, here we go.
Around 76,000. What?
Hold on.
Oh my God, this was amazing.
Will you professionally tuck people in for sleep? What? So Chad and Eric are going to tuck you guys in. What do you mean?
Nothing is better than like a big plush bed. No, this is amazing. How much is this one?
So this instrument starts at around 76,000.
What?
76,000? You don't have these people.
Wait, think about your shoulder.
My show. Yeah, my show.
Your shoulder won't fall.
Man, I didn't know what the fuck over. It's $76,000 for a mattress. We don't even get a damn headboard for the dresses.
Wait.
70. Have you ever heard that?
No.
76,000 for a
Is that
mattress.
whole
It didn't
bed?
even have a hair. It didn't even have a headboard or the foot of the bed.
So that's just the frame, the box spring, and the mattress.
Yeah,
What the hell is it made out of? Did NASA make that bed?
man. It's some slaves, but it put some. It better have had some slave cotton in that mud.
Now I went to Mattress King. Hell, I can't remember. Maybe it was Mattress King. Hell, they had some outrageous stuff. They had a $300 pillow. That damn thing was as heavy as this damn computer I'm on. It had some weight to it. I like $300 on a pillow. So we checking the bed out. One of those beds where you can lift it up. Raise your back. It was nice.
Oh yeah.
It was, and the mattress stayed cool. It checked your body temperature. Hell, they had beds in there that even talk. Like you could Bluetooth your phone, play music. The bed would talk to you. All that good stuff, right? The starting price was Mattress King.
Wow.
$6,000. That was the starting price from $6,000 to $16,000. I was like, when did a bed cost as much as a car? You have to finance a bed. That's crazy. But the frame is free. You get a free, because the frame is what bends you up. The frame comes for free. That's even worse. I would you to include the frame, because then if you take the frame away, you just talking about just the damn mattress. It's $6,000. God, Lee. Woo. So I can imagine Nelly's face. I can imagine Nelly's face at $70,000. Come on, let's get out of here.
That is bananas, man. I'm like Nelly. I'm with you, Nelly. I would have hopped so far out of that goddamn bed, I wouldn't even man. As soon as he said 76,000, he would have said 76,000. I'd have been standing right next to him, like, really? I'd have been up already. He wouldn't even have got the other part out. He would have just got the 76 TH. 76, right. And then I would have been up.
And the crazy part is that they was talking to me about this car, this bed, as if it was a car. Oh, you can finance it, 60 months, 0 interest, blah, blah, blah. Damn. And we in a bed store, and I'm at a car dealership. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I remember back in 2000 when I was starting to have my kids, we needed a bed. I bought a brand new bed, box spring, frame, everything. It was $328. They delivered that shit. They put it up, slapped that damn bed together, and we was happier than a sissy in a whorehouse on a $328 brand new bed. And 25 years later, it's $6,000.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Oh my God.
That's nuts, man.
Yeah, that is.
Man, 76 is insane. Even 16. They would lose me at 16, right?
That was a king size. Yeah, the one that was 16, that was a king size bed that I'm talking about. Had all the bells and whistles, all of it. I didn't even know you could Bluetooth play music, the bed talk. It kept up with your sleep, your heart, your body temperature. I mean, AI from footboard to headboard. Do you hear me?
They trying to make people lazy. Ain't no way in hell, son. I come home, jump right in bed, man. Leave me the hell alone. Only thing is missing, well, if it's AI, you probably can turn on the TV. Man,
Mhm.
that's why they trying to make us fat in America, man.
Absolutely. But
They
you know
trying
what? I'll go back to sleeping on a water bed before I spend those type of prices.
Man, dude, I want one of them. I always wanted one of them anyway. Yeah.
Good Lord, man. That's crazy.
I just got a fear of drowning in my sleep.
Yeah, I don't blame them. And they probably could afford it 10 times over, but it's just the principle of the thing.
Yeah, ain't no way.
Even if
It's
you
certain
have the
things I'm not
76,000.
paying that kind of price for.
Absolutely.
And is one of them. I get a cardboard box before I pay that price.
You know what I would do? I would take that money and go start my own business to sell beds. How about that?
There we go.
76,000. I would take that money, start my own business selling box springs and beds, and then that way I can afford this 76,000 because the customers that's paying for my business will pay for this $76,000 bed.
I'm with you. I ain't, man. That's nuts. Let's keep this moving, y'all. We got a lot of stuff to hit on. That is hilarious. His reaction, man, when I seen that video, I cracked up. I couldn't laugh any harder. All right, so these next two subjects that we're gonna talk about, they go hand in hand. So I want to talk about these back to back, right?
Okay.
So this man and woman was having this discussion, and the question was asked: if women are smarter than men, then how do y'all keep getting tricked out of y'all vaginas? So, without further ado, and it's kind of playing to the next story, I'm kind of playing to that. So let's hear what they talking about.
At the times, women advance a little bit faster than men, especially emotionally, so we're more emotionally intelligent at a younger age.
When you're dealing with a grown woman, because y'all mature emotionally faster and mentally faster in every way, and you're fully equipped. Let me cook for a second. And you got it all figured out, right? Because if you're smarter than us, then how do we always trick you out of your coochie and your heart? If you're so much smarter than us, or you got it all figured out, and you mature so much faster, how do you end up with a baby at 16 while a man with the same age? How about this? If you're so much smarter, if you know so much more, how do you keep dating the same person over and over and over again in different bodies? Man, this is the nothing but the truth. Live.
All right. So he said it. You know, man, Sky, I was talking about this before, right? Because and this is my issue when they move the needle when we're speaking on, because men really can't speak on women, because a lot of women be like, oh, you must hate women. So women really don't like to hear the opinion of men when we speak about an opinion or have an opinion on women. But I always say this, right? You can't be the most educated and then the most easiest to manipulate. You can't be super easy to manipulate and trick, but then you're educated. Something ain't adding up. And this is book smarts is totally different than street smarts. Yes, you're good at retaining information. Yes, you retain indoctrination. Indoctrinated information, you're great at retaining it. But when it comes to common sense and street smart, that's a whole different level. So I would have liked for her to have said, yes, book-wise, we're more educated. But common sense-wise and critical thinking-wise, we're not. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot to learn from you guys. Because it's obviously you guys have figured out something that we have.
Yeah. There's book smarts, common sense, and street smarts, right? So nobody in this world is perfect, because then they would be great at all three. So maybe that's the issue with some of these women. They're very book smart, A's, B's, college. But then if you put them where common sense is needed or where street smarts is needed, then that's probably why they're getting tricked out of their vagina. Or you can take a woman that's hood, she's not getting tricked out of her vagina, but she ain't finna be no lawyer neither. And though you take somebody in the middle that's just common sense, that's like, okay, what tool do I need? Do I need the common sense tool? Do I need the streets tool? Do I need the book smart tool? Like, what do I need in this situation? So, yeah, so the ones that are getting tricked out of their vagina have probably came out of a good, affluent neighborhood, great schools, great parents, but that's not life. Then you get in the situation where a street dude or a slick, what they call him, a jive turkey dude, and he's just throwing all type of game at you, and you have no clue what's coming to you because you ain't never been in that environment. Man. All you know is A's, B's, college, master's degrees, doctorate, bachelor's, and then you making $300,000 a year as a top surgeon. But yeah, when it comes to street smarts, you dumb as a rock. And here comes this nigga trick you out of your vagina, your money, your house, your car, because you don't know. So yeah, I can see that situation of what he's talking about.
Man, that just make me really think. I think, man, having this conversation, it dawned on that I think that's the problem and the issue with a lot of women is they don't know how to separate, the education part from the critical thinking part. And the critical thinking part is very important because I'm telling you, I've seen some of the most beautiful women in the world be tricked. And I'll be like, how? What could he have said to trick you into putting you in the position that you're in right now? Because normally you got a lot of dudes that will be after you and you can get dudes, you can really be puppet master if you wanted to, right? But you don't really have that in you. You don't have that in you. Yes, you're book smart, but common sense, as far as like being a thinking woman on a critical thinking side, no. And so he right. And this next story that I'm about to play, Sky, it goes into it. It's a perfect alignment to what this dude said. And Nas, man, I wish Nas was here because I might read off what he was saying. And I love Nas. I don't know if I would agree with him on this one though, and I'll tell you why. I'm about to tell y'all why. I'm gonna read his comment, and this may have why I probably wouldn't agree with him on this. So there was this 40-year-old woman who got, pregnant by a married man, and she got on told the whole internet. The married man wanted her to abort the child, and then to add inside the entry, he went back to his wife. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and play this. Hey, I wanted to let y'all know too, it's raining over in my area, and I got a hound, so y'all gonna hear my hound in the background. Because, man, the rain just do something to him. So, if y'all never heard him, y'all probably hear him right now.
A 40-year-old woman is going viral on TikTok right now to share a heartbreaking story. She says she was dating a man, found out she was pregnant, and when she told him, he hit her with the truth. He's going to go back to his wife and wants her to get rid of the baby. Now she's devastated and says she's ready to do it alone, but feels completely blindsided. What really sparked the debate online were the comments. Most people, especially the women, were actually encouraging her to terminate the pregnancy so that she wouldn't be tied to a man who clearly doesn't want her or the child. She came back with another video saying that she's disappointed in how women treat other women. But the irony here is that a lot of people are saying it's not women tearing you down, it's the man who got you pregnant and who won't claim you and ran back to his wife.
She also said she didn't want kids anyway until she met him, and he convinced her to have his baby. So I think I feel like that's wrong with his part. He was just running the game the whole time.
He didn't know what he wanted.
Knowing that he was going to go back to his wife.
He didn't know what he wanted. First of all, if she's 40 years old, I don't know how old this man is, but he's running game he's like plays with pregnancy like that. Like, who the fuck does that?
Men.
but then they could change their mind. Oh, but they could change their mind though.
They can. The specific reason that you said doesn't. We have nothing to do.
A 40-year-old woman is going viral.
So that's what that is, right? And I wanted to go ahead and talk about this, right? She's 40 years old. First and foremost, how do you not know that this man is married? You've never been to his house?
Right.
That's public record. If you know his first and last
he
name.
gave you the first and last name, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's because if you're going to let him be up in you
I
wrong,
was just about to say that.
that's information you need to have first and foremost. His name. All right, once you get his name, that's your job to get on the internet or get a PI to investigate if this man is who he say he is. How the hell do y'all be 40 years old and the dude was like, it's wrong on his part? No, it's wrong on her part. You know why? Because she the one that gave him access to her vagina. He couldn't have access to it without her consent. Because if he would have took it, then now we're talking about something totally different.
Right.
Right? So I'm confused on why they're not saying, hey man, you 40, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know that. You should know that.
Yeah, absolutely. What's up, Faith?
And I don't get it.
Absolutely. You know what? If I was a woman, because talking to a lot of women, been raised by women, a couple of things would scare me. One, a gynecologist. Because usually when you talk to women that go to have the pap smears and stuff, it's not a good feeling, right? So if these people who are checking to see if you have any complications down there, it's not a good feeling. What do you think abortions feel like? Right? Or let's just say you get pregnant and you take the morning after pill and you're causing your body to be irregular to push this embryo out. How do you think that feels? That would scare me the most. Like an hour or 2 hour of pleasure could equal you being in pain for weeks or months. And so now even childbirth is painful. So instead of you trying to protect yourself, like you're saying, Damo, and all this old stuff, you just saying, okay, screw it. Here it is. Do whatever you want to do. But then when the consequences happen, that's when we're playing these videos on this show. Because we're playing videos because there's a consequence to what you did. And I know people gonna say, well, the man has a stupid problem too. But like Damo is saying, a man can't get to your vagina unless
I agree.
You.
She right. She right. They both play the part.
They do.
She's right. They both play the part.
Yeah.
But here's the difference. Faith, here's the difference. The women are the ones that have to deal with it.
Yeah.
That's the difference. And I don't understand why when women speak and talk amongst each other and they have conversations that they don't relay that message, because that is the most important part. They have to deal with the consequences if it don't work out. You know what I'm saying? And so, and this plays into another conversation we've had before. Why we're saying that, people always frown upon older men that like younger women. And I always go back to saying what? A lot of these older women are old in age, but mentally they're not old. That to be able to, what she just gone through is something that should happen to somebody 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Not somebody in their 40s. In your 40s, man, even if you haven't had a lot of dating experiences, you're supposed to have had enough knowledge and people around you to kind of give you information to where you know that. And that's the issue, man, is that a lot of these females, no, it doesn't dissolve him out of responsibility, but the consequences, man, he's the courts hold him responsible. Let's put it like that. The courts are the ones that make sure that he's gonna, that's why family courts are so lopsided. It's very lopsided to some point, to a degree where it's almost unfair. But the courts do hold men, responsible for the situation. But the consequences are paid by the women and the children. Because most of these dudes go on and have a family elsewhere. You see what I'm saying? But the people that suffer the consequences, because a lot of these women, it's harder for them to get, once they have kids, a lot of dudes don't want to deal with already made families. Or they'll be like, I'll deal with you when your kids is old enough and out of the house. That's how most men
conversation, right? Absolutely. I don't want to deal with you.
They think like that. They like, man, I'm not going to be part of raising these kids, investing my time and money in them. And they talk about you ain't my daddy the moment I go to discipline them. So it's so much more to the consequences that women, not just the women, but then the kids. My question would be to her is, why couldn't you just wait to get married? Why couldn't you just have protected sex and say, you know what? If you want the reward of unprotected sex, what comes with that is a wedding ring. You see what I'm saying? And this is like what I always tell women. Man, think of it from that part, because it's like, if I'm with Sky and I know a stove is hot and Sky convinced me to touch that stove, I can't turn around and blame Sky for touching that stove when I knew the consequences of touching that stove was that I was going to get burnt. Now, me and him may get into trouble, but the person who ultimately going to suffer them consequences is me, because I'm the one that got burnt. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, Sky played a part in it. He played a role in it. He convinced me to touch it. Oh, ain't nothing gonna happen to you. Oh, you know what I'm saying? It's perfectly harmless and safe.
Right.
No, it don't dissolve him of the situation, but the consequence, that's a prime example of what I'm saying. The consequences, and that's the thing. Man, he's selfish. He knew he was married.
Right. Well, you know what? Here's the thing that I take away from it. I agree. And a lot of men, when they see a woman with 2 or more kids, hey, when your baby daddy coming to watch them kids? Is your kids at home? Hold on, you want me to take you and your kids to the park? I'm not doing that. I mean, you can go to the park. You can come over to my house. Hey, I want to come over tonight. Oh man, the kids are there. I'll come another. You're right. That's what I be preaching to these girls back and forth that has these families and the baby daddy ain't shit and you trying to move into a better situation. But the thing with Faith and what I see with most women and men is, who are y'all mad at? We didn't create this world. Either your mama and daddy brought you into this world or God brought you into this world. When God created man and woman, he created a double standard. So yes, Faith, men can hold their part too, but in this situation, the woman is going to suffer more of the consequences than men. When it comes to child support, the man is going to suffer more of the consequences than women. I don't understand why people don't understand we live in a double standard world. Whether you born woman, born man, God created man, he didn't create people equally. So this is what we're saying in this narrative, this situation. She's going to suffer more of the consequences. His consequences are going to come later with his wife and child support and everything else. We're talking about this narrative, Faith. So it's not like we are always downing women and on the men's side. You have to stay with the narrative with us, Faith. Then when we talk about men, we'll dog and down them too. But people don't understand we're not created equal.
But and it's the part that I think that frustrate me out of these conversations is, who's really going to suffer the most? Who ultimately going to suffer the most, more than her and the husband? The kid. Nobody ever thinks about the effects, because now that kid got a father that don't even want him. So she didn't think about that this is a possibility that he could go back. And this is why the importance of vetting who you deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is information you got to know before you get into bed with somebody. Am I the only person? Have I done the homework? Because has she not gone to his house? There was no family photos up?
Nope.
Nothing? Like, I wish they would dive into that. Because I'm trying to understand of how, like, she didn't talk to any co-workers or talk to anybody to even say that, hey, he married or
And it goes back
nothing.
to what I just said. These girls have low self-esteem. They don't love themselves. And for some reason, that vagina is just talking crazy to them. I thought men talk crazy to women. The vagina talks crazy to women. For her to do any of that, I don't care if I ain't had sex in 4 years. I'm not going to put, as a woman, put myself in that position. Even as a man, I'm not going to put myself in that position. So it goes both ways. Nobody's ever thinking about what happens after the orgasm. They're all just thinking about prior to the orgasm, but they never think about what happens after the orgasm. And that's the problem with a lot of people. Not everybody, but just none. No, he's not guilt-free. And I'm saying, when we go down that narrative,
No,
yeah,
he
when we go
should be.
down
I
that
know he's not.
narrative,
He gonna
yeah,
have
that's
to
fine.
spend
Yeah,
with
but
his
we're not
wife.
talking about him.
His
Yeah, we're
wife,
not talking
he
about
gotta
him,
answer
his
for her.
wife's child support. The narrative is her decision. Now, Faith, if you want us to talk about his decision, then yeah, we can go down that road. But right now, we're just talking about her decision. That's it.
Yeah, because she went online and made this public. That's why we're speaking
Yeah.
about it from her angle, because she's the one
Yeah.
that went online and
They made it public,
TikTok
yeah.
and made it public, right? And I know when she tried to paint him as the bad guy, and I'm not saying that he ain't. He definitely a bad guy because he was married, dealing with another woman. You know what I'm saying? And knocking another woman off. Not just knocking her off, but just doing it, man, without protection. So it's already proven that he just wasn't shit. But this goes into the discussion we was having prior to this topic, where we're saying that if these females are as educated, and they always like to throw out, I'm educated and I got this degree and this and that, and that's fine. But what role does that play in the world of common sense? Because common sense should tell you, man, if this don't work out, it'll be easy for you to walk free. So I'd rather be married to you first, and then I'll give you, it's gonna cost you heavily financially in court. You know what I'm saying? And that's the common sense, analytical way of looking at it. But when we talk about education, women are great with that. But when we talk about common sense, you know what I'm saying? We already know the dude's on. This dude is a prime example. We already know. It don't even take a rocket scientist to tell men and women that a lot of these dudes, they will screw a fire ant here, knowing that they gonna come out burning. They'll do it. You know what I'm saying? But I think I'm so frustrated because a lot of times I expect a lot of females to know better and they don't. And that's what frustrates me.
Yeah.
And then they go public with it, like, oh, he ain't shitting. Well, shouldn't you have found all this information out before you lay down with him, though? Isn't this the homework? You know what I'm saying? It's just like you ain't gonna buy no house without checking out the whole house. You're not gonna walk in the house, not have somebody, at least if you don't feel like you're educated enough in it, that for hiring somebody to say, hey, check this frame out. Is the foundation good on this? Is this in the flood area? We don't just walk up in the house and buy a house, you know what I'm saying, without doing the research. So I don't understand why people get into bed with people without doing the same kind of research. It's the same way we invest in the car. We invest in the car, man. We want to look under. There's times I looked under the hood and I didn't know what the hell I was looking at. But I just wanted to look like I knew what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of times I didn't know what the hell I was looking at. But I was just like, man, well, at least I can't let them know that. You know what
And
I'm
one
saying?
thing about houses and cars, they're easier to get out of than when you bring a child into this world. That's not something you just say, oh, well, you can repossess my child. You can't, or you can foreclose on my child. You know, you can't do that. So, yeah, he's in the wrong for adultery, cheating on his wife, getting another woman pregnant. But you know what? For 9 months, he gets to go home and be like, I'll wait till the baby gets here and suffer the consequences, right? For 9 months, she's going to go through hell. If she keeps the baby, she's going to go through hell. So you know what I'm saying? So that's just the narrative that we on. I'm the one that's the woman has to go through the 9 months of hell while he gets to go back to his wife and be like, okay, 9 months from there, I'll figure it out. You know, as a woman, I can't wait 9 months from there to figure it out. I have to figure it out now. And let's just say he don't even want to pay for the abortion.
Think about this,
he wants her to get the abortion, but he don't want to pay for it. So then you got to come up with the $900 or whatever to get the abortion by yourself.
Or what if she passes away on a table giving birth? Well, who gonna have the kid?
Yeah, and
nobody ever think about that. If she doesn't make it on the table giving birth, what about the
adoption? Is going into the state custody.
You see what I'm saying? Like the kid, and you know, man, he's not relieved of any guilt or her either. You know what I'm saying? But it's and that's all we saying. That's all we saying is that, you know, man, you got to do your homework, because them consequences, and she paying them, he paying them too. But the child really paying.
Right. But this is not a perfect world. Even if you have the study materials and all this stuff, there's no way. Bad things happen to good people, right? But what Demo is saying is the best way to protect yourself is either a condom, marriage, prenup, because when shit happens, because it's going to happen, you're okay. But when you're out here not protecting yourself, not getting life insurance, homeowners insurance, and shit happens, then you want to come online and be the victim. And that's what we're saying about this video. She is 40. She has wisdom, because wisdom comes with age, to understand what the consequences was of having unprotected sex. Whether she knew he was married or not, having unprotected sex with a man that she didn't really know. And that's what we're saying. So that's how I feel like
you know what,
play the victim. He didn't rape you. Yeah, he lied and you didn't know. But shit, it kept you away to 2 months, 3 months, 4 months before you had sex. Getting to really see, because you can only hide who you are for so long. Eventually, it's going to come out. But when these girls are sleeping with dudes within the first 60 days, you don't even know who you sleeping with. A serial killer. Hell, he could be a child molester. You ain't gave it time, but you so damn horny. This is why we have toys. This is why you have Hollywood Hustler. This is why you have, I don't want to be graphic. But anyway, stuff like that. That's just what I'm saying, Faith. Both of them are in the wrong. But the narrative is,
you know what's fine?
Just be more protective, because there's a lot of dirty men out here. Go ahead, Damon.
I was gonna say, and she proved this, that what age does.
No, okay, yeah, okay.
Now, what age comes knowledge? What age comes knowledge? That means knowing, but wisdom is when you apply the knowledge that you know. That's being wise.
Okay.
Right? So she's knowledgeable, but she's not wise. Because if she was wise, she wouldn't be pregnant at 40 by a married man.
And again, even she didn't know.
So there's a lot of women and people.
Even she didn't know he was married. Let's just say he could be carrying an STD. Because a lot of us don't know who's carrying STDs or not. So even if you take the marriage part out, he could have been carrying a damn deadly STD that would kill your ass in 8 years. And you did not try to at least figure out something like that with a condom or whatever the hell you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? So you're right. Wisdom, she had no wisdom in that. Because as a man, he don't care. He got it and he's leaving. That's the double standard.
Most men only want, that's all they want. They ain't going to be honest with y'all. We're wolves. We're not going to be honest. Our objective is to get what we want at any cost. Now, here's the part where I say I put the majority of it on her. If she had waited and said, let's get married first, guess what she would have found out? That he was already married. So she didn't do her homework. See, this is what I'm talking about. If she had put rules in place and said, you know what? I want to do this and I want to do this first, right? Hey, I can't, hold on for a minute. I can't accept nobody right now. We doing a live. Sorry for my people on Bigo, but we're doing a live right now. If she said that, look, I want to, I want to go ahead and do all this with you. Yeah, we could be sexually active, but first and foremost, I'm gonna be on birth control, and I'm gonna make sure that you wear protection and I'm protected. And or let's just wait till let's get married. Let's get married. She would have found that out. She would have never gotten duped. This is what I'm talking about. To put it on a whole nother nutshell of doing your homework, doing your due diligence. Because if you do things the right way, right, she would have never ended up with the consequences that she's going to end up having to endure now.
Absolutely.
And it's unfortunate.
And it is. And I'm glad that we're doing the narrative this way, because even whether women agree with what we're saying or they pissed off, at least now they know. Because when you extract an emotion out of somebody, it's because it went here and they're understanding what you're saying. So even if the women that are listening to Damo don't agree, at least you will think twice before you have sex with a man that you don't know nothing about.
It's like somebody that want to go do harm to people. You can throw all the blame and everything at their feet, but they are who they are. They had 1% to go, and it's to hurt people. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta question everything else. Well, why did y'all let him in here? Did y'all not check his book bag? Why didn't y'all do your due diligence? How did it get to the point where this is taking place? Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Like, it gotta be that due diligence is of such high importance. And people don't understand the point of dating. You date to get to know each other, and then once you get to know each other, then you decide if you're interested enough for a relationship. And then once you get in the relationship, you learn more about the person, and then it's like, right. You know what? Oh no, it don't make it right. You know what I'm saying? You'll never hear me say it make it right. Hell no. But I'm just telling you, man, like, well, evil, like, people try to make sense of evil people. And sometimes, man, you'll go crazy. Absolutely. Trying to make sense out of people who are evil. You'll never understand it. They'll never make sense to you. Because they're wired.
Absolutely. And if it wasn't him, somebody else would have played on her emotions. He just said most men are wolves. So if it wasn't this guy, this married guy, another married guy would have done the same thing to her. So, this is a never-ending cycle. Sorry, you live on Earth.
Yeah, because if she didn't do her due diligence with him, somebody else would have came along and did the same thing. Because it's all really on her. She the one to get access to the sex. So she controls the rules. No, I'm not doing this. If you want this, I need you to do this, this, and this. And if she did things the proper way, she would have found out, hey, man, this dude married. Hey, this man, you can't take people at their face value. Especially, if you would think that people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s would know that. But apparently not. I'm going to play this video. This was funny as hell. So this woman, man, she got fired from her job, right? And she's sick. She was upset. So she like, man, I need me a sugar daddy. But I want a sugar daddy without having to give him the sugar. So without further ado, let's go ahead and play this video and hear what she talk about.
Just want an older person who just wants no cookie and wants to take care of me. Because I'm going to be poor. I am poor. I'm going to be poor and on the streets having to sell my cat, and I don't want to sell my cat, Kendra. I don't want to do it.
You may have to be.
We need to find me a rich man who just wants to take care of me. Like, no cookie. No cookie. You ain't getting nothing.
Well, you need to then you need to focus on 70, like in that area, older white men.
Yeah, I was the 70. Yeah, 70 as long as, like, if he wants to take me shopping or eating, I love to eat. I love eating. Like, Kendra, eating is like my favorite hobby ever. So if he wants to take me
I can see that. First truth.
and you do not want any of this down here. Why do you not being south of the 40?
Why do you not want to have sex?
No, I don't like it. I don't like it. Not with the older men. Not with the older disgusting. Not with the older men. I just don't want it. I don't want them putting that.
Well, at least she's honest. At least she's honest. And so there will be.
So she don't want the older. She don't want the older rich man to put his little penis in her, right? She wants the young broke dude with like 4 felonies, 200 credit score, man, living in his best friend's attic, you know what I'm saying, with no AC in the fan, man, 10 jobs in 3 months. She wants that dude. He muscled up. He tall, but she don't want the rich, wrinkly old boy.
She wants the R. Kelly, Mr. Big. She wants the old dude to take her shopping, eating, take care of her lifestyle, and when she gets what the old folks would call that itch, she'll go to the R. Kellys. So she wants it both ways. She wants her cake and eat your cake too. When she's ready for that nice, hot, young stripper dude, go get it. But then when she's ready to just sit in the pool in a rich man's house and spend a bunch of money, she wants that. And there are also women that do have both. There are also women out here that have both. So if she's honest about what she wants, she probably will eventually get it. She probably will find some 70-year-old man who just needs a woman. Do you know that there's a thing in this world where people get paid to cuddle? Did you know about that, Damo? You can pay some. Okay, so there is a rich 70-year-old man who wants a woman who would just come over, cuddle, listen, cook, and then he be like, hey, if you want to sleep with this young guy, bring him over here. Hell, I'll pay him to come sleep with you. There is situations like that.
Them robots can't come quick enough, Sky. Them robots can't come quick enough. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get it how you live right now. Because when them robots, and they coming quick, they gonna be very human-like. When they come, boy, not of y'all. You know what I'm saying? How the hell? So she you know what she's basically looking for, Sky? A daddy.
Yeah.
A daddy. That's what the dads do. Take the daughter out to eat. You know what I'm saying? Take her shopping. She literally wants a dad.
There will be, she has to keep looking, but she'll find it. She'll find somebody. Because I had heard of situations like that where the husband can no longer please his wife and he pays younger men to come into the house and have sex with his wife while he watch. That's basically what she wants. She wants the young man sex with the old man money, but my thing is, what I agree with her, at least she's honest. She's not out here lying to people, playing in people's face. If you honest about your intention, you might eventually find it. You keep campaigning and you might get elected.
Yep, she right. You right, Sky. You absolutely right. Somebody going to break down, and you right. And most people's biggest fear,
dying alone. Yeah, absolutely.
Most people's biggest fear is they have a fear of being lonely. And so you're right. They will pay. That's what an escort is. People think the escort is always about the dude paying for the woman to sleep with him. No. A lot of times, man, the escort is just a conversation. The companionship. The dude is paying for her company.
That's it. And it blew my mind when I saw that people pay upwards to $25, $30 an hour for somebody to come over their house, or they go over somebody else's house, and this was kind of like a big white woman, and she sat on the couch, and he laid on her chest and stomach, and she just rubbed her for an hour or two. He talked like a therapy session. I'm like, that's an actual occupation? Oh, wow. Get out of here.
Ladies, I'm sorry. There's no way. If you broken homeless, you can really fail in life. Because, man, dudes will pay y'all for the silliest things. Dudes, men will pay for the y'all. And Faith, I don't know if Faith's still here, but I think this is why I'm really so hard on women. Because women, if they play it right, can get dudes to do anything they want them to do. The problem is, though, is women don't use their critical thinking. Because you know the women that do get the utmost out of men is the women that do. The women that know how to use their flirtatious ways to lure a man in. And then when the man gets desperate and, I gotta have you, right? Then they like, well, if you want me, you gotta do this, this, and that. And a dude, if he want me want him bad enough, We were.
Let me tell y'all something. And I don't
me?
want to get too graphic with it, but I tell you, when I tell you I come from this, oh Jesus. So there's a girl I knew back in the old neighborhood, and she told me this. She would just go to guys, give them oral sex, you know, shake their dice, and right before he was about to ejaculate, she would hold it, like her thumb over his penis hole to hold the semen from coming out. He said, before I let this go, I need $25 on my cricket bill. I need gas money. And you know he's trying to release that, because that's a strong feeling you trying to release, but she's not letting you do it. If I let go, you gonna do it, right? Okay. She let go. Next thing you know, her phone bill paid. She got gas, got food, got all that old stuff. So you right. Critical thinking. Because she didn't tell him up front.
But what name did she get called?
Look,
wife.
She never told him up front that this is what she's gonna do. She's like, yeah, I'll come over. I'll do oral sex. Then once you get that man to a point where he has to agree, critical thinking.
Wife, because I'm gonna tell you, man, the women that become wives are the women, I'm telling you, that really make dudes chase them. They make dudes have to go through step by step to get them to where they want. The ones that is real easy and stuff, yeah, they get stuff out of dudes, but the thing that they ultimately want, which is the majority of women desire companionship, a partner, a life partner, right? They don't get that. The women that do get that stuff, I'm telling you, you'll see a woman, you'll be like, she pretty, but that girl over there way prettier, like Halle Berry. Halle Berry, as pretty as she is, Halle Berry can't get a stable dude to save her life.
Yeah. And do you think
she can't get a stable dude, and look how many crushes she got?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta know when and how to play the game. I think a lot of females just don't know how to play the game. You know what I'm saying? Man, we could go into this conversation, go into something totally different. That's so much deeper, man. I had to pay people. I had to put this in the book. Hell, I had to put it in the book, Sky. But at the end of the day, men aren't complicated. We aren't. Sky, you over there froze on me? I think Sky froze for a minute. But it's unfortunate, man. I gotta get his girl. I gotta get his girl credit. Sky might end up coming back. Girl credit. She did. She was honest. You gotta respect a woman that comes out the gate and is honest right out the gate.
Absolutely. You lost connection there for a second, Damo.
I got you.
Yeah.
She was like this. She was like,
yeah.
I had that look. But yeah, man, I gotta give it to her, man. Much respect to any female to come out and just, and dudes too, and just honest about what they want.
Honest.
Even if you don't like it, you gotta respect it.
That's right.
Because man, we just don't have enough people out here that's like that. So it ain't like the dudes ain't gonna know what her intentions is, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Man, Sky, we knocked that out, and this was a fun ass show.
You know, I just think that folks that just listen to our show, I'm just saying to everybody, whether you agree or disagree, at the end of the day, the foundation is we are not created equal. There's pros and cons of being a woman, and there's pros and cons of being a man. And so you cannot be mad at every man who has married a woman, gave her kids, and left, or cheated with the stewardess, or out here having 10 baby mamas. And it's just the world that you live in. So yes, men do wrong things and women do wrong things. But when we're talking about a narrative, that's what we own. If you want us to change the narrative, put it in the comments. Or I don't know, you still got that phone number that they can call Damo or no?
Man, I gotta hook that up. Okay. I do, but I just gotta hook it up. We definitely gonna get that line open. Hey, Faith, I want to say this. No, I don't know if that's true, because there's a lot of women that have different men that they're dealing with. One dude is friend zone, the other dude is the crush. This the dude that they're waiting you know, to want them back.
They
And then they got the boyfriend.
Yep, they
So
got the
women do play a lot of games. The problem is the women they don't pick the right dude. They don't pick the right guy, and it's just unfortunate, man. Because in the end, man, they pay the consequences for picking the wrong dude. We're dudes. We do the same thing, but we're very meticulous in how we choose what kind of woman we gonna marry. We getting more and more meticulous. Because dudes are less and less, you know, man, the criteria or the requirement for a man to make a woman his wife, that criteria is getting tougher and tougher. It's getting tougher and tougher.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
but yeah, women, man, shit. I know. I had a girl I liked a long time ago. She was like that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I liked her, so I was friend zone. I was the guy she wasn't as interested in. The guy that she was really crushing on, he wasn't serious. He was messing with multiple women. The dude she was dating, yeah, she was interested in him, but she wasn't interested in him seriously. He was just somebody where she didn't feel alone. So she had groups of dudes that she had and then playing the game.
And so throughout the world of history, yes, women have been treated awfully because there's a double standard. And for some reason, they're supposed to be, quote unquote, the lesser vessel. So this is why men feel like they can treat women the way they want to. And even in certain parts of the world, men marry off their daughters at a young age. Why? Because they don't think their daughter's smart enough to pick the right person. So
that's why I think dads need to go back to picking the men for the women.
Yeah.
I don't think women should be allowed to pick their own men because it's obviously, man, that seeing the results, ever since women had the choice to pick their own men, look how divorce and marriages have flipped.
Yep.
Compared to when the men would pick the fathers would pick the husband for the daughter, compared to when the daughter picked their own husbands. Look how the marriage and divorce rate has flipped. And Faith, you make a really good point. But there's a lot of people that had discussions on why this double standard exists, right? The reason why this double standard exists, right, is because, man, this whole monogamous thing, this is a Western concept.
It is.
Before, man, the West, most men had concubines.
Absolutely.
That's what concubines were. The man had a queen, but then he had the concubines, so he had other bad wenches and all them other types. And that was really normal. This whole, one man, one woman thing, that's a whole Western concept. And the bad part about that is it worked for a long time until as women start getting more rights, then it's not working out anymore. You know what I'm saying? And the reason being is because men, I had this conversation. Men are the ones that have to chase women. Like, we have to give y'all not only our time, but our money, and we have to do a lot of investing. I think if the women was the ones paying for the date and doing all that, right, that's one thing. But let me ask you this. Could you imagine you make the investment, you working hard, you spending your money, taking somebody on dates, whining and dining them, and then another dude who just, man, don't even have to do much. He just basically attractive to her, can slide on in and get in bed with her and not even have to pay the same thing that the dude that's courting her have to pay. That's why it's frowned upon.
God damn, I just had an epiphany. You was absolutely correct. Good Lord.
You think about it. Like, could you imagine, Sky? Could you imagine if you bought a car, you the one paying the car note, you the one that put the bells and whistles on it, you upgraded the car, and then somebody come and they wreck it.
Absolutely. And
are they driving it more than you driving, or just as much as you? But they don't invest. They don't put no gas in the tank.
No.
They don't invest anything.
Nope. And absolutely good. That's why I don't deal with folks, because you, like you say, you're the one doing all the investing and helping out, making sure they're okay. But yeah, they'll let the most sorriest dude in the world
come in
and sleep with them. Absolutely. And get them pregnant. and do it multiple times. Absolutely. But the thing with Faith, y'all gonna be mad till the day that y'all die, because whatever you're saying is not gonna change. Men are still gonna do. This was just this subject. Men are gonna do a lot worse to women, lie to them, get them pregnant, and never pay any consequences that you think that they should pay. You're wasting time and breath being upset at, well, men should be held accountable. Yeah, they should, but they're not. It's just life. Sorry.
You know the bad part about it too? You would think that men would be better because the majority don't have fathers around. The person that raised them, the majority of them are women, right? So you would think because they have a mom that they would cherish the mom and the woman enough to say, you know what? I seen what my mom went through with my dad. I want to have something better for the woman that's going to be the mother of my children. And men don't look at it like that. And so I think the thing is the question needs to be asked, well, why is that?
That's true.
I think a lot of men, and it shouldn't be resolved. I agree with you, Faith. They shouldn't be dissolved of any responsibility, consequences, shame, or none of that.
Right.
But a lot of what men do, and I think women need to ask the question, well, dang, why is it that most of our sons are being raised by us? Why don't they really have more pride in women? Seeing, because you would think, man, watching me struggle and and all of that, that they would not have a greater understanding of. Man, my mom went through this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure that the woman that I get in bed with, that's gonna be the woman I marry. And they don't look at it like that. Because they don't even have better marriages. You would think that they would have more likely to get married and have better marriages, and they don't.
Right. See, Space, the last two conversations you just had, I answered your question. It's not going to happen. Men are not going to call out other men. And yes, you're upset about men who marry women, have kids, the wife has helped them out, and then he leaves you. That's just life.
I'll tell you somebody that did it. I'll tell you somebody that did it.
That's never done that.
I'm going to tell you somebody that did it. When Kevin Samuels first started his platform, people forget this. When he originally started it, he was bashing men. And, man, when he was bashing men, man, the women was like, that's right, tell him, Kevin. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't had no problem with him bashing men. And the other men would also pile on. There'd be other men that'd be like, hey, man, you need to get your shit together. Why are you out here trying to date and you don't even have a job? You ain't got a car. You won't have this and you don't have that, right? And let me tell you what you know why Kevin Samuels went viral? Kevin Samuels went viral because he flipped it and started holding women accountable. And when he held women accountable, women was like, well, how dare you, you know what I'm saying, criticize women? What about your mama? You don't love your mama? You know what I'm saying? Oh, you hate women? Oh, you sass? Oh, you this? So the problem is that, and that's what in that video that she was saying that women was criticizing her. And her comment was, why aren't women more supportive of other women? Well, I do think that men, and we'll call a dude a bum in a minute. I don't hang around dudes that don't have their kids around. You can't be my friend if you ain't got your kids around. You can't be my friend if you out here like Nick Cannon, creating broken families and then talking about the community. You can't do that and me and you be cool. So yeah, men do hold men accountable. Even if we don't do it verbally, man, my actions, you would never see me around a bum dude that's not taking care of his business. Right. And I understand men make mistakes, and I understand that things don't work out, but you're never going to see me around no dude that's not in his kid's life. And I know that's one of the most harmful things to our community. So I'm glad to see that I think women need to, like Faith, I think there's a lot that you can give other women by just telling them, you know what? Man, let's focus on your part. We already know the man's part. I'm quite sure he gonna get that from the other men. Let's focus on what you could have done better. If women did that more amongst each other, women would actually help each other grow. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is, look at Felicia Rashad. Look how they came after her. Felicia Rashad said something about the way that young girls dress, and look how they came after her. So there's a disenfranchise between the women in the older generation and the younger generation, because a lot of the older women are trying to compete with the younger girls.
Right.
And vice versa. I agree. But that's what I'm saying.
This conversation till you both blew in the face. It's just one of those things where at the end of the day, it's like I said, it's just a double standard. Just at the end of the day, I've never been around a bunch of men.
It's always going to
I've never
exist.
been around a bunch of men that say, "Hey, do you got 3 girls? Y'all be ashamed of yourself." And I've been around women like, "Dude, girl, you a whore. You sitting there." It's just is what it is. I mean, and when you say have the platform, me and Damo can sit here and preach to these young dudes till we blue in the face. If they gonna have 10 kids, 10 baby mamas, cheat on girls, lie to them, that's what they gonna do. It don't matter about the platform.
They always done it. The majority of men, kings and stuff, they have always done it. You know what I'm saying? The thing is though them dudes can go off, and I'm not saying they're right. They're absolutely not right. But the reality is they can go off and create 3 or 4 other families. That chick, she'll have a hard time the rest of her life finding a husband or somebody to even share her life with. Or she'll get dudes that'll be in a relationship with her, they'll shack up with her, but they won't take her serious enough to say, "Hey, I want your hand in marriage." And that's the consequence that, you know, and she can sit there and point to her baby daddy as much as she wants, but the person that still got to deal with that consequence is her, while her baby daddy are probably with 2 or 3 other women doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
And it ain't gonna end no time soon. Actually, it's gonna get worse for it. It's gonna get worse for it. It's better. So, you know. And then most of these videos that we're playing, Faith, they're women. We play some men, but they're mostly women who are upset about their decision and went public. If they didn't go public, how the hell me and them are gonna talk about it? So it's on them.
It's on them. And it's just like with marriage. You know, one thing I give men credit for. If they don't think you not marriage material, guess what they not gonna do? They ain't gonna marry. A woman though, she won't look at her vagina the same thing. If I don't think he good enough, and he ain't getting this, they don't do that. They get the dummies do.
And they,
but you know, because if they treated their vagina the way we treat a marriage,
it's so weird. And again, it goes back to they don't vet people. They take them as face value. You sleep with these people. You have kids by them. And like that video just said, oh, then you find out he's married. Then you find out he has other kids.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking,
man, when it comes to marriage, I'm going to tell you. When it comes to marriage, Scott, you know, when it comes to marriage, we are very meticulous on who we gonna marry. Very meticulous. Now, the way we sleep with y'all is different than the way we choose who we gonna marry. Tell me I'm lying.
And you know what the crazy part is?
The way we pick women for marriage is totally different than the way we pick women that we gonna sleep with.
And y'all listen to what.
And you know why that is? And you know why? I'm gonna make this, because I know we gotta get ready to go, but I'm gonna say this. You know why that is? Because the consequences for us picking the wrong woman to marry is very high. We could lose half our assets. We could lose custody of our kids. We could go from tucking our kids in every night to her new man having more access to our children than we do. The consequences in the States is so high when we're talking about marriage that we're meticulous in who we're going to pick for marriage. But who we sleep with, the way that we choose for marriage is the way that y'all should choose dudes on how y'all
Absolutely.
sleep with.
And let's end it on this note. Listen to what he's saying. So let's go back. Let's say we all lived in Utah and we was all Mormons. Let's say we lived somewhere on the other side of the world where marrying multiple women is good. Y'all will still have a hard time getting married. If a man, even if he can have, if the United States say, hey, tomorrow men can have up to 10 wives, a lot of y'all still wouldn't get married. And he can have multiple wives. And he'd be like, you know what, I'm at 7. I can get 10, but none of y'all ain't worth being the other 3. That's the situation.
And that's how heavy we bet. The majority, not all. There's never all in any scenario.
Yeah.
But the majority of men, y'all be like, men don't want to get married. No, we don't want to get divorced. Men aren't afraid of marriage. Men are afraid of divorce. So men are very meticulous in how they pick women.
Absolutely.
For marriage. Women need to be that meticulous in how they choose men that they're gonna lay down to sleep with. It needs to be a checklist. His credit score needs to be over 700. He needs to have had some kind. Do he work on cars or can he work on houses? What skill do he have? You know, there needs to be a criteria in the way that y'all pick the men that y'all gonna sleep with. And the final criteria is, if you ain't gonna marry me, you ain't getting this. End the discussion. I would get a toy. I would get Motor Dick 3000. And I just had that. And I'll be there like that before you get this, man. Because if you ain't gonna take the chance to marry me, then you ain't gonna get the chance to get this.
Absolutely.
We bet hard when it comes to
Absolutely.
marriage.
That's 100%. Yeah, I'll bet everything. Yeah, on that. That's true. Person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, because the vetting is I know people have had roommates, and you put something down, they move it, you lay $1 on the table, they steal it. The person you bet to be married, you should be able to have your money, your jewelry, your everything in one place. And when you come back home, it has not been touched unless she says, hey, can I borrow this, and that. That's how much you bet somebody to be in your personal space for the rest of your life.
Man, because
Really
the stakes
high.
is high, man. Sky, it was, man, I had so much fun today. I swear, I can't wait for Tuesday, man, next week. You want to go ahead and plug them in, man?
Don't forget, y'all, tonight, the D-Bling Radio Show is brought to you by Top Rope Wrestling, new music. Next Thursday, not this Thursday coming up, but next Thursday, we'll start our second radio show that's going to play, soul, neo-soul, rock, all that other stuff, whatever the other genres is. This Saturday, Top Rope Wrestling in Lebanon, Tennessee. If you're free, please come out. We're having a benefit for my friend Angel. Her father passed about a month ago. And so we're raising money for her. And, if y'all want to come out, eat some good food and, help with the benefit, that's great. Oh, yeah, don't forget, if you're an artist and you need radio play, submit your music as an MP3 to sky.black@gmail.com. That is sky.black@gmail.com.
All right, now, man. Hey, y'all know how I like to lead a show. The only thing guaranteed in life is death. So worry about the things that you control, the things that you can't. Make sure you put it in God's hands. If you woke up on this side of the dirt and you go to bed on this side of the dirt, damn, I cannot speak today. But you have won victory over the day. So just keep that in mind, man. God bless y'all. We glad to have y'all here with us. And until next week, man, we are out. Peace.